Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to kick off this inaugural event. I, for one, love working with Avi Neville in the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, and am always excited to hear more about the exciting startup community in Israel. So welcome, all of you. Our first four in this monthly series. We're excited to hear your stories. We love working with Annette from RIHub, our neighbor, as Avi said, right in our building, and the first innovation campus here in Rhode Island. We in Rhode Island are small but mighty, and love to present ourselves as a great soft landing for any companies that wish to come to America from other countries. And we are little states with big innovation happening. So without further ado, I don't want to take up any time. I just want to welcome everyone. And thank you all for being here. So I'm going to hand it over to Avi Neville.
Thank you, Tuni, and your team. It's great partnership. We're looking forward, and Annette as well. I just want to mention that our next event will be October 6th. So next slide. Basically, we are the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative. We're a Chamber of Commerce to connect Rhode Island and Israel in academia, business, and research. The history is going back to 1860, where the first money to build the first Jewish neighborhood, Mishkanot Sha'ananim, in Israel was given from Yehuda Torah in Rhode Island. So definitely a great Israel connection, Rhode Island connection. We're happy to be the idea behind helping to build the Rhode Island RIHub. We are terrifically excited about the fact that the governor, for first time, was in Israel in November, and she signed an agreement with Ben-Gurion University and others. And next week we have, on September 24, also we have a new event for Israelis that will be in Israel regarding Hope in Maine. So that's for Israeli companies who would like to open a food business or expand their food business in the United States. So we are happy about that event. We invite others and basically connect us. I'll keep it short, and I'm very excited because we have a message from our Secretary of Commerce, Stefan Pryor, who was also with the governor in Israel. And I can say to all the Israeli listeners that you will not have a more friendly state to Israeli companies than Rhode Island. And I think it's amazing. And you will see it by the message from the Secretary of Commerce. And again, thank you all to help. And Avi Malinger, please show the video.
Hi, I'm Stefan Pryor, Rhode Island's Commerce Secretary, and I'm pleased to be celebrating the relationship between Israel and Rhode Island. We are so pleased that there are so many points of collaboration between our two states, little states that pack a big punch. And we are so energetically involved with the innovation community of our nation and world, and so, of course, is Israel. As Startup Nation, we're pleased that we even have a new interrelationship through an organization called the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, headed up by Mr. Avi Neville. Avi, of course, has Israeli heritage and is a valued Rhode Islander. Thank you for all of your amazing work, Avi. We have so much going on between our two states. In fact, Governor Gina Raimondo is the first sitting governor of Rhode Island who has taken a trade mission, who has taken a trip to Israel while governor of our state, and that took place right at the end of 2019. So we're pleased to be even stepping it up on the relationship between our jurisdictions, and there's so much going on. Already, during the COVID crisis, there's been collaboration between Israeli enterprises and the state of Rhode Island on helping provide for technological solutions to the COVID crisis. We have a new incubator in our capital city here in Providence, Rhode Island, where as part of that incubator, there's something called RIHub, R-I-Hub, where there are Israeli enterprises helping to cultivate new companies, emerging companies as part of that mix. And we're also fostering a relationship with Ben-Gurion University. There is so much going on, but really, even given this, it's just the start of the relationship. You know, innovation innovation really is baked into Rhode Island. It's in our DNA. When Rhode Island was founded, the Royal Charter establishing us in 1663 spoke of a lively experiment. It was a lively experiment in religious concernment because Rhode Island became a pioneer, not only in the emerging United States, but in the world as to religious toleration. But also this notion of the lively experiment has really animated all that we do, and we've become a fount of innovation in the United States and in the world. In fact, the American Industrial Revolution was birthed here with Slater Mill, and it's been a history ever since, or a present and future ever since, that's infused with innovation. We have a lot in common, Israel and Rhode Island. Let's keep it up. You'll find, if you're an Israeli entrepreneur, that there's no better home than Rhode Island. Yeah, if you're an Israeli company or an emerging one, we have innovation spaces, incubator spaces, including the RIIHub that I spoke of. We have programs that will help to fund a relationship between an emerging company and our outstanding universities and colleges, including Brown University, the Rhode Island School of Design, the University in Rhode Island, something called an innovation voucher that can help to fund your work. And we are incredibly hospitable as a location between Boston and New York, such an important market and such an important area of the United States, of course, conveniently located between the two. And we're extremely hospitable with, I would argue, the best quality of life in the entire Northeast. So come check out Rhode Island, a great place to do business, a great place to innovate, and let's continue to strengthen our relationship. Thank you once again to the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, and good luck in all that you do.
Okay, thank you, Stefan. I'm Annette Tonti. I'm the managing director of that RIHub. He called it RIHub, RIHub. And welcome, everybody. We're thrilled that you're here. And I'm all about the startups in the sense that I'm going to be the master of ceremonies here to shine a light on these terrific startups that we brought together today. Without further ado, we're going to get that started. I wanted to let you know that if you've got any questions during this session, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. We would definitely want to hear your questions during the time that startup entrepreneur is speaking. So we're going to kick this off right now with Rachel Yarcony. Rachel,
Thank you.
There you go. And Rachel's actually going to share her screen. You have roughly 8 minutes, Rachel. And what I'm going to do is be polite as possible and let you know when you have 2 minutes left. So take it away and tell us about myAir. By the way, I need myAir. I was reading all about it this weekend. It looks fantastic. So
you're not alone, Annette. You're definitely not alone. And we will talk about that shortly. Just want to be sure that the slides are moving. Yeah?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Wonderful. So very happy to be here today. Thank you, Avi, for everything. And let's start. So, you know that many people don't talk about it, but unfortunately, too many people are dying from it. Stress is the global silent killer. For the past 20 years, I had a stressful career as VP Marketing at Teva, the leading pharma company, and as CEO of the snacks division at Nestle, the leading food corporate. As a business leader and executive manager, stress has become a massive burden in my life. Stress is number 6 killer factor. In fact, 75% of the adult population in the US has reported suffering from chronic stress, so you're not alone, Annette. And the cost of stress to the US industry is $300 billion. I try to manage my stress through meditation, mindfulness, but I failed to maintain stress management into my routine until I understood that changing behavior is so complex, but there is one thing that we all love to do: eating. In a world where we manage our diet and manage our sports, it is essential that we will start to manage our stress. And personal nutrition is part of the solution. We are myAir, a functional food company specializing in personal stress management. Imagine once a month, you get a box to your doorstep with your name on it. In the box, you will find a set of tasty and healthy nutrition bars made with a mixture of active super plants. Those nutrition plans are proven to reduce stress and tailor to your specific profile. Well, the truth is that there is no need to imagine, because for the past few weeks, we had the privilege to deliver the exact solution to hundreds of consumers all across the US, and the feedback was behind our wildest dreams. Last week, I got this text message from one of our customers. After eating myAir Sleepy Gray, I had the best sleep after many restless nights. And actually, we were not surprised to get this feedback, because the research results on our product were that 72% of users demonstrated positive effect after eating our superfood bars. Their stress level decreased in 21%, and their sleep quality increased in 20%. Plants are the world's first technology, and we believe in food that works for me. So, what is the science behind myAir? Our proprietary formulations are based on plants-based molecules proven to reduce stress. Our super plants can support the body's natural ability to heal with stress through the endocrine and autonomic nervous system. When talking about stress, one size does not fit all. For example, stress affects me mainly at night on my sleep quality, but stress affects one of our users mainly in the mornings on his energy levels. Chronic stress might create focus problems or muscle tension. Each one of us deserves a personal solution. So the next question would be, how should I know which nutrition bar I need to eat? Well, luckily, we live in the age of big data. And through our research on stress, we were able to develop a super smart patent-pending algorithm based on AI technology. Through any smartwatch, I hope that you all or some of you have some smartwatch. Through any smartwatch, we analyze physiological data and we combine it with psychological data through cognitive assessment. That unique combination of mind and body creates the best profiling. Here you can see in my slide part of our user experience and the consumer journey for building a personal superfood bar mix. Since stress is an ongoing problem, we offer an ongoing solution. Our subscription model offers a wellness routine based on personalized, long-term ongoing data. None of myAir impact wouldn't have happened without our experienced team. My co-founder, Dovev Goldstein, who is a serial entrepreneur with profound success in personalized technology, and our team of brilliant food technologists and software developers. You can find them here in the slide. Stress is not only my personal problem, it's also the biggest global silent killer, and personal nutrition is part of the solution. In the past few months, hundreds of people across the US experienced myAir stressless routine, enjoyed our superfood and bars, and improved their well-being. We created this impact with a small and dedicated team. It's time we take the next step. We invite you to join our Superfood for Mood journey. Thank you.
Wow, that was fantastic. So Rachel, I have a couple of questions here.
Sure.
By the way, you could not have picked a better, more meaningful time to launch this. Who isn't on this planet a human being and a bit stressed? All of us, right? So this is fantastic. Okay. You know, for years we've talked about food as medicine, and for years we've also talked about personalized medicine. Perhaps we get to personalize food first, because using AI to actually put things together. I'm a person who has sleep problems, and it's not every night. It's just, it comes and goes, and I can't figure it out.
I'm going to send you Sleepy Gray right away, so, and you will see the results.
Fabulous. My first question, can I get this in the United States? It looks like I can. I can order online.
Yes, sure you can. I invite you all to go to myAir.ai and do the test assessment, the cognitive assessment, and this box is going to get exactly to your doorstep. We already started. We know that we have already very happy customers.
So how do you work this on a global distribution? I'm curious to know, do you manufacture in Israel? Do you manufacture in the US or other countries? How does the distribution work?
So, you know, life occurs when you plan them. So at first we planned to relocate ourselves to the US, and then COVID-19 arrived. So we already have a factory in California. And since COVID, we found another factory here in Israel who is GMP, quality assurance, working with Unilever, with Strauss. As you understand, I have background in the food industry here in Israel. So for me, it was quite easy. And for now, we produce in Israel and export. We have a COO in the US and a fulfillment center. And when we will grow, so we are looking for another factory, maybe in Rhode Island, to produce our products in the US.
We're going to talk to you. We are definitely going to talk to you. We love, by the way, food is one of the things that Rhode Island is known for. So thank you. Okay, well, let's move on. Rachel, that was fabulous. Thank you. By the way, people love the branding. It is beautiful branding. Thank you for that. And we'll all be in touch. So thank you for joining.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Next, we're going to talk to Hilik Harari from Gaitbetter. Hi, Hilik. How are you today?
I am very good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And everything looks wonderful from our end. So take it away, and I'll let you know if you go over your 8 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Sure. So hi again, and good afternoon for you. And thank you for the opportunity and having me and for the opportunity to share the Gaitbetter story. My name is Hilik Harari, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gaitbetter. And Gaitbetter is about promoting healthy aging through an innovative and clinically proven motor cognitive training. Motor cognitive training is a special new modality that is designed for improved mobility, gait rehabilitation, and fall prevention. Our training is enabled by adding a cognitive engagement layer to common treadmill training. To get an idea of our exact offering, I'd like to share with you a very quick and short video clip that addresses the challenges, our solution and markets, and I'll say a few words later on. So,
okay.
Let's play it in.
Walking. How simple it is. Most of us take it for granted. But a growing number of older adults and those with impaired mobility fear falling. Falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries for older adults. 1/4 of adults aged 65 and older fall each year. Fall-related injuries result in more than 60,000 deaths and an estimated $100 billion in direct medical costs worldwide. Introducing Gaitbetter. Gaitbetter promotes aging in place using an innovative and clinically proven training solution for improved mobility and fall prevention to keep the elderly healthy. In recent years, researchers have proven the close relationship between cognitive capacity and walking abilities, which are critical for a safe gait.
All righty. So hopefully that went through properly,
Yes.
and I hope you liked it.
That was fine.
So indeed, we are treating a very important and critical challenge that most elderlies are facing, many elderlies are facing it. And indeed, for many years, falls were associated with almost natural aging. However, in recent years, research has found a tight relationship between decline in cognitive functions, specifically around executive functions. These are set of skills that has to do with motor planning, decision-making, attention capabilities, and working memory, to safe gait and proper walking capabilities. As we age, or if we have some neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson or Alzheimer, it would affect our gait capability and eventually may lead to a fall. Our special type of modality trains both motor and cognitive skills at the same time. Basically, we're really focusing on brain skills, if you will, to improve mobility. And as you've seen, the way that we do that is by adding in what we refer to as a non-immersive virtual reality. So we are not using goggles. We basically place a TV stand in front of your any common treadmill, and we use computer vision algorithm to analyze feet movement in real time, injecting them into a simulation that practice real-time situation. Our first product is already in the Israeli market. We've been selling it for the last almost about a year or so. We were, like I guess many other startups, we were just about to launch in the US and got a bit of a delay because of COVID, but happy to say that we are starting to engage in the US. We already started to engage in the US, and I'll touch on that later on. So our first product in the market is a medical device. It is designed for medical settings, typically in rehabilitation centers and PT clinics. It is aimed for gait rehabilitation and mostly, and it is an FDA registered product. It's a Class 1 product. However, we're looking to improve healthy aging and promote healthy aging throughout the spectrum. So starting in a medical, next year we're looking to release our wellness edition, which is aimed and designed to work for self-use in gyms, independent living communities. Okay. And then eventually we're gonna release a home edition.
Oh, awesome.
And
hey, we're interested about that. You know, one of the questions that came in is like, this is like an incredible platform built, and we're guessing that it's rather expensive, and therefore why you might be going through the channels that you might be going through. But is this something that anyone can get individually? It sounds like you're about to launch something for the individual at some point.
At some point, it will be a consumer good product, adding it to your existing treadmills. We don't sell treadmills. We provide add-on to existing treadmills, but that's down the road. We first we are working with hospitals and rehabilitation centers and provide it under medical supervision. Again, the wellness solution will also include a home version for that.
That is fantastic. And in terms of the U.S. market, are you landing in a particular place in the U.S. or are you working in several regions?
So one of the things we've done is we were happy to be recognized and receive a very large grant from the Bird Foundation to run a clinical study and extend our clinical evidence in stroke survivors. We're doing that with Spalding Rehabilitation Center. So we're already in the U.S. We have another clinical study on MS patients in Kansas University, and through the RIIC, we just started now to have initial discussions with several Rhode Island institutes to have them join our beta program, right? So we're looking for early adopters in the U.S.
That is fabulous. Well, great, and I'm assuming you're going through Avi with that. RIHub will do whatever we can do to help you out and support you on that. What a fabulous platform you and the other founders have built. Thank you for this work. I'm excited to be following you and seeing where this goes. And I think it's something that is very, very well needed, especially based on the size of this problem. It's huge. So thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Next up is Ronen Luzon with Mysize. Ronen, where are you?
I'm here.
Great. Hey. Oh, there you are. Hi, Ronen. So, Ronen, you are all about Mysize, and you're going to take it away for about 8 to 10 minutes here. Time. And I'm actually curious to know how you decided to come out with the various different product lines you have. So take it away, Ronen.
I will do it quick. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Avi and Annette. I will... like everyone, I will start with a short movie to explain to you what you would do here in Mysize. All right.
As a retailer, you want to give your shoppers a personalized experience. You want them to find the item they want, choose a size that fits, buy with confidence, and to come back for more. With Mysize ID, an innovative new solution, your shopper's personal measurements are matched with your brand's size chart, significantly reducing returns and increasing a great shopping experience. The Mysize ID platform offers 3 combined elements: widget, app, and myDash. The widget is integrated into your store's e-commerce platform and displays a per-item size recommendation for individual shoppers. The recommendation is based on data input into myDash, the user-friendly size chart editor. A unique size profile can be created via the Mysize ID app or from the Mysize ID online sizing wizard. myDash creates a size chart for every apparel item and integrates them directly with your business's PLM and inventory database. Analytics with aggregated data are also integrated to provide in-depth insights into customers' behavior that will further enhance personalization. The Mysize ID app, or SDK, enables shoppers to create a personalized size profile by recording their body measurements with their smartphone. Mysize ID can also be deployed in brick-and-mortar stores, enabling users to scan a barcode, receive a size recommendation, and purchase directly through the app, bypassing the fitting rooms and register. Mysize ID. When every item fits perfectly, customers buy more and return less.
What we do in Mysize, I will share my presentation in a second. We use the mobile phone sensors to measure distance that the phone is traveling. So just by moving the phone from one place to another, we know to measure the distance the phone is traveling. So I built this company, I've started back in 2014. And this company, I've started it as a publicly traded company. Mysize today is traded both on NASDAQ and on Tel Aviv stock market. We've raised till now about $25 million into the company. We're based here in Israel. The headquarters is in Airport City, just about 15, 20 minutes from Tel Aviv. And we have sales person both in the US, Europe, and in other parts of the globe. We start selling our product in 2019, ramping up in 2020. And the product that we have is, we've started, the vision was about the apparel market, as you've seen in the movie, that each and every one of us has a problem when we're buying online and sometimes even offline. We don't know our sizes, particularly in brands that we never bought before. And then we've buying more items in different sizes and we return the one that doesn't fit us. And for us, we less care because we don't pay for the shipment. Who pays for it is the retailer. But the globe is suffering as well from all the logistic back and forth, all the sustainability that everybody's talking about. And the apparel market is the second largest polluting market in the globe today after oil and gas. One of the main reasons is because we are sending all these items back and forth. But when we started to develop our solution that we use the mobile phone sensors, it's only the mobile phone sensors, that we don't use the camera or anything else. Just by sliding the phone across your body, we can build a profile of your measurement. We realized that it's not the only segment that is suffering from measurement. There are other segments as well, like the logistic and courier, that if you want to send a package, the first thing you're being asked for is what's the volume of the package you want to send. And not always you have a ruler, but your mobile phone is always there. So you can move your mobile phone today over the package and we can calculate the volume. And we've partnered with companies like Honeywell and like Zebra, where our technology is embedded on top of those devices, where you can, now these devices, not only for operational, is as well for measurement. Other segment as well is the DIY. When you want to buy a curtain for your window, or you want to buy a linen for your bed, or you want to know how many gallons of paint you need for the wall that you want to paint, use the Size Up. Size Up is another solution from Mysize, that you just move the phone over the particular item you want to measure, and we will do the rest. We hook up, we are a B2B solution, where we hook up our solutions to the businesses, to the retailers' website and offline stores, where we complete a journey for the consumer and for the retailer. So Mysize is very unique. We have privacy for one thing. So we're not using the camera. So there's no pictures taken of your body when you want to buy something, or of your home when you want to measure something. Everything is being done with the sensor. So just moving the mobile phone, that's it. It's very friendly. It's fun to use. There are other features like the family account, for example, where you can add more family members into your account. And when, for example, you're going to buy in Gap or in Adidas, you can buy for your family members by getting the size recommendation for each and every one of your family members without the need to actually measure them. The solution is patented already. We've wrote 4 patents, 2 of them already granted in a global scale. Now we are writing the 5th and the 6th. So the patent is protected by, the product is protected by patents. And the product itself, it has on the apparel side, it has a decision-making system where we are getting the information from the sensors of the mobile device into the big data, the recommendation engine, and a research that we've done here. We have a group of people here in Mysize. They're doing research that collect a lot of data from different persons, from different body types across the globe, and we enlarge our database every day. Today we have about 20,000 entities inside the system with different body shapes, with different measurements, that we use this database to enrich profile of users that using our solution. Combined with retailers' size charts and PLM, we can give by about 95% accuracy a recommendation for the user regarding size, availability, and fit recommendation for the user based on his body type, based on his actual circumferences that we use with our technology. So using our technology today, we can see already retailers that are using it. They've been able to reduce returns dramatically, more than 50%. We can see already the reduce in returns by retailers that are using it. Conversion increased dramatically in this presentation. We can see 7.5, but today with some of the retailers that we can see more data streams into our systems, we can see a 13, 15, and even 22% increase in conversion, which is quite crazy, talking about online stores. And usually conversions are about a 2 to 5% today conversion on the online market. So it's dramatically increasing the bottom line of the retailers. As well, we can see loyalties because at the end, buying garments, it's mostly emotional. And if you have a brand that gives you a perfect journey and gives you extra size, exact size recommendation, it makes you this brand more loyal to you. Vice versa, actually. So we today can we know how to give size recommendation for almost everything. One of the most difficult things to give size recommendation is lingerie for women. And one of the biggest brands in Europe called Panty is using today our technology, and they have a great success story using our technology, and we can see it in a minute. This is part of the measurements that we can give today on body based on our solution that consumer is measuring himself, and we can do it in about a minute or so. That's great. This is one of the success stories that we've done. Boish is a denim manufacturer in the U.S. That's selling denim. It's been able to decrease his returns about 30%, and increase in his engagement with consumer in about 75%, which is really a crazy numbers talking about this industry. Panty is this apparel manufacturer that sells underwear and lingerie. So the numbers talk about themselves. They've been able to increase 3 times the number of sales, mainly because of consumer confidence and interaction with the widget and with the size recommendation. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Wow, I love this. And so let me ask a quick question. So if I wanted to go out today and get there, is there an app for me to get? Is it Mysize ID?
That's right. Yeah. So you can use the Mysize ID as an app. As well, we do a white label for different retailers. Usually the big retailers do a white label, or they integrate our solution directly within their existing app.
And is that in fact how you guys make money? That's how the revenue model is you license to the retails?
That's right. So we license our technology to the retailers, and we make money based on the usage. So every time a consumer is clicking on the widget to get his size recommendation, we charge the retailer an X amount of cents for every time his consumer gets a size recommendation from our platform.
And so, you know, Lisa mentioned that she could see an application for this with other custom-sized equipment, technology, everything from golf clubs to prosthetics, you know, all those things. Have you all thought about, you know, expanding into more, you know, more directions in terms of what gets measured?
Yeah, we've presented several CES, and we've got so many demands. For example, from car manufacturers came to us, Rover, and they say when they sell a car today, they sell it with an app. And when you're buying something in IKEA, for example, or in Home Depot, you want to figure out if this item will fit in your trunk. If you will have a dimension tool in your mobile phone that you can measure the thing that you want to put in your trunk, and it will tell you it will fit your trunk or not. This is something that they want to explore. Insurance companies today, when you're doing insurance companies for health reasons, one of the main thing is circumferences. They want to know your circumferences for health reasons. So there are so many different segments for this technology, but you need to stay focused. If you don't stay focused and you build your revenue model, especially when you trade it on the public arenas, and the investors want to see your growth and want to see your the return on their investment, then you will start to expand. So the moment we are focusing on those segments, and soon enough we'll get to others.
Ronen, they want to measure the size of the piece of that cake that I'm eating. That's what they really want. So we can get that.
We'll come to that as well.
We'll be very happy. Thank you, Ronen. That was fantastic. We love your company. We love what you're doing. I'm actually going to download that because I want to actually see if it does some other things, which is really cool. I'm excited about that. And last but not least, we have Michael Mazur, Colu. Colu has entered the U.S. market in, of all places, Akron, Ohio, correct? And we're like, when can we have you come to Providence? That's what we're looking for. So, Michael, great that you could join us. Michael's the CEO and founder of Colu.
I'm actually the Vice President of Business Development.
I'm sorry. Vice President of Development, sorry. I got that one wrong on the test. Sorry about that. But anyway, happy to have you here, Michael. And tell us about Colu. And, you know, really interesting model here. Really interested to hear how you enter a market, because you're entering for an entire city or region. And that is not always the simplest business development to do.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for having us here. It's been quite an interesting ride, obviously, with COVID. But I'll start and tell a little bit about us, the company, and then I'll dig a little deeper. And so Colu in general has been around for about 5 years. And basically what we do is we work with cities throughout the world, and we help them by creating a white label app and platform that rewards resident behaviors that are aligned with the strategic goals of the city. We create a unique city coin, and that's the reward mechanism. Anytime someone engages in a behavior, they can get rewarded with a unique city coin that they can then use only at local businesses. So we're helping also stimulate that local economy. And a little bit about us in general. So we were founded 5 years ago. About 9 or 10 months ago, we decided to strategically focus on the US market. We, up until then, were focused more in Europe and Israel, and had programs in the UK, and obviously our major project in Tel Aviv, which anyone who lives in Tel Aviv probably is familiar. We have about 40 employees and 250,000 users and merchants right now. We just launched in Akron about 3 weeks ago, which has been very interesting. And we're currently in the process of selecting 2 more cities for the month of September, and then 3 more till the end of the year, which is basically what we have the capacity for. And kind of also from a higher level, what we have seen as a big issue across the board in the US is that because of the pandemic, local businesses are struggling like never before. We see this from so many levels, but ultimately when you look at the stock market, with the exception maybe of the past day or two, the big box retailers, the e-commerce giants, are profiting like never before. So this dichotomy that we see comes from the fact that people are much less inclined to shop at local businesses for many factors, one of them being the convenience factor, and the second being awareness. And we, as a company that focuses on rewarding behavior that meets the strategic goals of cities, obviously see that as a huge pain point and void that has to be resolved immediately, because there is an existential threat to small businesses. They say 1 of 3 small businesses are going to shut down and not even see 2021. And when you think about it from a macro level, those implications are huge. We see our ability to be dynamic with our technology is critical here, because we can then use this rewards mechanism to focus specifically now on supporting small businesses in cities and giving cities those tools to do so. What we do and what we saw that cities did not have, particularly in the US market, is number one, an adequate, fun tool to engage with residents, meaning cities did not have the direct means of communication with the residents in a way that was in line with experience that residents had on apps such as, you use like Netflix, use Spotify. And when you think about a government app, you never think about that same end user experience. So number one, we saw cities did not have that. Number two, cities did not typically reward positive behavior, right? It was usually the opposite. Usually you got fined for conducting a behavior that is not good, right? So we had to look at things the other way around and saying, let's focus on the positive and not on the negative. And ultimately, when we think now of COVID, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the technology, we see now that a lot of CARES Act funds and a lot of funds coming in from the government go directly to small businesses in the form of grants or loans, or to residents in the form of economic impact payments and employment insurance. And what we don't see is that funds coming in are directly dedicated to stimulating the local economy. What does that mean? When a business gets a one-time loan or grant, that's great to keep them alive in the short run, but that does not encourage resident consumption. If you recall, I mentioned, Amazon and all those big box retailers are doing amazing, right? But why? Because people are still more inclined to shop there. So what we are looking to do and helping cities do right now is how to allocate or appropriate a portion of their CARES Act funds to ultimately create a behavioral change that will stimulate the local economy by offering incentives to get people to shop at local businesses. Those incentives can in turn create a behavioral change that will last far longer than the initial grant itself, but that grant will instigate the behavioral change, right? So that's one. Two is what we're doing through that is we're helping create and foster the sort of sense of civic pride and emotional connection between residents and business owners. Though we talk a lot about behavioral economics and how do we look at awareness, right? So people, the more that they're aware of the businesses around them, the more that they're aware about their stories. Oh, wow, this is a Black-owned business, this is a women-owned business. They will be more inclined because they will have that sort of emotional connection to get them to think twice before they shop. I'll show a brief video of our program in Akron, which will probably highlight a little bit of what we do, and then I'll dig a little bit deeper and we'll leave some time for questions.
When you shop, eat, and drink in Akron, how do you make every action count? What if it was as simple as following the blimp? Now more than ever, our local businesses need your support. So let the blimp lead you to a new spot or a local favorite. Because every purchase you make in Akron means another blimp in your wallet. Introducing Akronite, the app that rewards you for shopping local. It's simple. Just download the app, create an account, and link it to your preferred payment method. No fees or hassles. You'll discover new, exciting Akron stories and destinations, plus the local spots you know and love. When you make a purchase at participating businesses, you'll earn blimps, Akron's very own digital reward credits. You can use blimps to make purchases at local businesses right from the app. Blimps can only be used in Akron, so what's earned here stays here, giving our businesses a boost at a time they need it the most. We're all Akronites, and with the Akronite app, we can all make a difference in our city. Download it today and make every action count.
All right, so that was a quick explanation to give you a little bit more of a sense of how it works. Each city can get their own white label app. So in Akron, they decided to call it Akronite. And the reward mechanism, the local coin, is called the blimp because the Goodyear blimp originated there. So each city can get their own unique name. It's very simple. You discover the businesses around you on the app. You see the different stories around, meaning the different initiatives. It could be get 20% cash back for shopping at restaurants downtown, and it could be getting an additional 10% cash back for shopping at Black-owned businesses in the city. You see the different initiatives, you see the way it works. You connect your credit card, and then anytime you shop at a local business, you automatically get rewarded. As you earn more local coins, you can then redeem them at local businesses that are participating. So that's really how it works. Very simple end user experience, which was our focus. You know, everyone talks about Gen Z and millennials, but we're actually looking not only at those generations, of course, but also seeing how this can be something for Gen X, for baby boomers, to make sure that it's a convenient experience, and that honestly in Akron, we see them being a key proponent of the app, and they are very excited about being able to, you know, stretch their dollar, as we say. In terms of what's ahead, so as I mentioned, we are selecting our additional 5 US cities in 2020. Right now, we're finalizing the next 2 in September. In Tel Aviv, where we have been around for quite a while, we have a few different initiatives that have been very successful that really sparked our launch to the US market. One in particular in Jerusalem Boulevard in Tel Aviv, which again, I assume that portion of you know of. So in that portion, in that sort of construction project, it was about they're doing the light rail there. So businesses saw much less foot traffic. They reached out to the city to see how the city can support. We partnered with them, and through the initiatives, the 100 small businesses that participated saw over a 7x increase in commerce thanks to the incentives. And the cool thing is that even once the rewards were used and were exercised, people still shopped at the businesses 3 times more than they had prior. So again, that's when we talk about that behavioral change. Akron, we just launched 3 weeks ago. Our initial KPI was 1,000 users for the first month. We ended up getting 2,000 in the first 5 days without any marketing dollars spent, which has been a great accomplishment. It's been getting a lot of press. We actually were mentioned in the New York Times yesterday. I don't know if any of you saw, which was exciting. And yeah, that's it. So very excited and very interested in seeing if we can work with cities in Rhode Island, obviously.
Well, you know, Rhode Island is big enough to kind of be a particular city. We need the follow the Rhode Island calamari. We've become very famous for our calamari recently across the United States. So I could just see that. Anyway, I love this. I think it would actually do a lot to get people to remember to shop locally. Can you tell us a little bit about how the money flows? How do you all make money actually at Colu? And then when it comes to the actual benefits for the end user, you know, who supplies the, those kind of extra special bonuses, if you will?
Yeah, so we make money. The city pays us an annual licensing fee to license the app, to get the white label, the platform, the service, the infrastructure, and everything surrounded, as well as the operations, meaning our biggest IP is in our technology. Our biggest IP is our ability to implement the technology to create change, meaning, right, like it's our team, our overhead, our operations. That's really where it comes. In terms of the rewards themselves, right? So let's say someone spends $10 at a local cafe and they get 3, let's say, blimps cash back. Those blimps are typically funded by the city. Now, the city will fund them, obviously, to stimulate their local economy. It's money that can come in lieu of grants that they give for as part of their CARES Act funds. But it could also be different funds relating to economic development, for construction budgets that they may have funds, you know, to offset damages done to the local businesses because of it. And then the other thing is there are local nonprofits and foundations that can also help promote initiatives as well. So it could be saying, here, there's an initiative to support women-owned businesses in a certain neighborhood that's funded by a specific foundation. Then you have maybe a local corporate sponsor that says, hey, we want to help promote other minority-owned businesses in the city. So we open up this platform for this concurrent, for the simultaneous initiative capabilities, where a lot of different entities can participate and ultimately help the city achieve their strategic goals.
That's great. Hey, so we have an interesting question. I think you just answered it, but we're going to ask it from Amio. Sure. So suppose I'm a current resident of Akron, Ohio, and I relocate to Tel Aviv. Will I be able to convert my Akron blimps to Tel Aviv, whatever that is? I know it's probably not a blimp in Tel Aviv.
It's called it's a Tel Aviv coin for now. Not that interesting. Not as interesting. It's actually called the Colu coin in Tel Aviv. No, so it's very unique to the city, and unfortunately it's a city budget. So for many, many reasons that would not be feasible. But
if I were somebody who temporarily lived, say, for 3 months at a time at a place in Rhode Island, I could use them whenever I came back and forth to Rhode Island. So
Yeah, of course. It can be for
program in Rhode Island, right? Yeah.
And the focus is on the specific city. So for example, in Akron, obviously we say Akron residents, but if someone works in Akron, wonderful. The focus is on the businesses that are local and not necessarily just the local residents shopping there, stimulating the local economy in any way possible.
Fabulous. Michael, thank you so much.
First, I want to commend the speakers, and I want to stress out to all the listeners and share it with others. With every company here, there is an opportunity for the island business, for institution, for university to connect with them in certain way. It's not just a sale, but sometimes it's a manufacturing space, integration of technology, research. So that is very critical to understand. I want to thank to our partners here, District Hall, Tuni and all her team, to the RIIHub, to the Secretary of Commerce. Those days are super busy, but he took the time and gave us a great message. And I think he reflected on the strengths of how much Rhode Island wants you to come and be partner in Rhode Island. In big states, big cities, you're going to run into silos, where here you have a great opportunity to go immediately to the top level, to get help. And I think some of you, we're happy to connect you with others. You can get references. So again, we hope this series will be another month, and then it's a whole year, every month. And if you know companies that you can recommend to from Rhode Island and Israel, please connect them, because that's what we do. We connect people. And when we connect people, it makes both sides much better.